Despite his many other troubles, one thing that Ron DeSantis has going for his presidential aspirations is that he has received quite a few endorsements, even before he's announced, from GOP officials in Iowa, New Hampshire, as well as Florida. Now, Florida, you might expect, he's the governor of Florida, but Iowa and New Hampshire, incredibly important primary states for the Republicans. So because of perhaps all of this, Donald Trump and his team not happy about these endorsements going out. He's getting more, by the way, but he wants all of them. So he put out this statement saying, it's no surprise that Ron DeSantis and his political cronies have continued to terrorize the Florida legislature with the threat of his veto pen if they don't acquiesce to his demand to endorse his candidacy. There are some brave legislators who've stood up to the DeSantis' swamp-like behavior and resisted his intimidation tactics in order to do what is right for Florida and the country. Those who he can't control, including almost the entirety of the Florida federal congressional delegation, have endorsed President Trump because he's the only candidate who can beat Joe Biden and take back the White House. So look, I don't even know what the claim they're making is, that he's threatening Florida legislators to not support their legislation if they don't endorse him. I don't put that past him. I just haven't seen any evidence that it's true. But the part about this, Miranda, that I find so just awesome is they're saying, look at Ron DeSantis. He's threatening people to make them endorse him. Donald Trump would never do that. He would never wield intimidation to get people to support him. He would never wreck people's careers if they speak out against him. That's my favorite part about the news today, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, well, it's typical Republican behavior. You'd say someone else is doing something when you yourself are doing that exact thing. And what's great about it is the voter base definitely falls for it every time. And I think that as confusing as this is worded, it doesn't matter because it has the buzzwords in it, like swamp, like terrorize, can't control, like all these things that they're just, no one who's voting for Trump and wants to vote for Trump actually has to know what any of this means. They just have to pick up these buzzwords in relation to Ron DeSantis, and Trump is just good to go. To me, it feels like I'm watching Trump and DeSantis wrestle in a mud pit, and like the trashy part of my brain that likes reality TV is like, yeah, they're fighting, let them go at it. But yeah, it's just word dumping and associating certain words with DeSantis's name. It is hilarious to watch Trump bash DeSantis over and over again, despite the fact that DeSantis has not yet even announced that he is running for president. And the ads, I have to say, continue to be hilarious for me at least.
Yeah. The only fact check I would make is it's not a mud pit they're wrestling in, that's chocolate pudding. DeSantis had that in his rider. So
my mistake.
By the way, on the endorsements, the Trump campaign has been hyper focused on endorsements recently, but not just the endorsements that Ron DeSantis and Trump are getting, but the endorsements that they're giving. So Trump bleated this, congratulations to a star. He put it in quotation marks, like he doesn't believe it. You're the one saying it. Well, just say it. Just say they're a star. I don't believe they're a star. I was gonna do this. Why did you do it? Anyway, he says in Kentucky, Daniel Cameron, who easily won the Republican nomination for governor, he had my complete and total endorsement. The DeSanctimonious back candidate came in a distant third. Ron's magic is gone. He also lost shockingly in Jacksonville last night. Mayor. Thank you. Yes, it was the mayor's race. He's not wrong there. He's awful, but he's not wrong there. Jacksonville did go to a Democrat for the first time in a very, very long time. That is true. And the person that he endorsed did win. Again, doesn't mean they won because you endorsed them. Donald Trump is generally very careful with his endorsements, and he endorses tons of people who are obviously going to win so they can jack up the percentage that win. Like, we can all see through this. But he's trying to point out, there's a reason he's focusing on this. I think he would tweet it no matter what, but the midterm elections make this, I think, a bigger part of his strategy, because one of the things that Donald Trump probably feels he needs to overcome in this primary is the valid perception that he's terrible for the party, not just him singularly, he's bad for the party. And he puts forward candidates that are terrible and that are gonna lose. That definitely happened in 2022. Lots of Republicans are worried that if he's still in charge of the Republican Party going into 2024, that they'll have another experience of that it might ruin their chances of taking over the Senate. So he needs to pretend at least that he's a bigger star maker than Ron DeSantis, even if it's not true.
Yeah, that was exactly the point that I was gonna make, is that, man, that last election looked so bad for Trump when so many Trump-backed candidates lost their elections. And so I think that that's definitely what he was trying to do here. He's like, no, look, I pick good candidates. And it kind of reminds me of Tom from Parks and Rec, when he picks whoever is just clearly going to win. And so he supports everybody until he finds out who the real winner is, and then that's the one he supports. And so I think that's definitely what Trump is doing. I also love that Trump tweets, or Truth Socials, I guess, like one of my old professors, like the ones who don't quite know how to use technology and they use a lot of ellipses, and you're like, why are you speaking to me like that? And so the quotes for star, I don't think he quite knows how to properly use those. And so I think he's maybe using them for emphasis, but it definitely does not read that way.
Yeah, maybe he thinks it's to bold the word. I don't think so. Anyway, the only win in all of this for Ron DeSantis, though, is that Donald Trump did call him Ron instead of Rob. So that's good. He used your actual name, Rob. Also, by the way, just really fast, Ron DeSantis is apparently planning to begin his campaign next week, people believe. So like, put it in your calendar, it's next week. And then like you read the articles, the next paragraph is, yeah, but he often changes his mind. Well, then it's like, then why are you even mentioning this at this point? What's the difference? I do want him to run though. I am very worried that he's not gonna run, because then, I mean, that was gonna be like the show of the fall for me. So I hope that it does happen, but we'll have to see.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.